It's your piano teacher, Tim, here, and today I'm going to tell you about the 3 different types of keyboards that are out there that you might want to buy depending on what type of musician you are. All right, let's get to it. I am having a good day. Thank you, Danielle. Okay, so the 3 different types of keyboard you should be aware about are synthesizers, keyboards, I'll explain what that's about, that middle part, and then stage pianos or digital pianos. So let's start out with this first one, synthesizers. Okay, so just kind of searching up on Amazon real quick here, we have synthesizers, and I'm going to go over how can you spot a synthesizer right away. You know, what are some of the key attributes? Well, the thing about a synthesizer, as the name implies, is that it synthesizes sound. And these are great if you are like a composer, if you are into music production and you're looking to, come up with ideas for sounds. They offer a ton of flexibility in terms of like the different types of sounds that they have on board. You know, you'll be able to play trumpet sound.
Doesn't sound like a trumpet.
You'll be able to play, drum sound. You'll be able to play like pretty much anything you can think of. You can also tell right away that it's a synthesizer and not a regular piano because it has a ton of buttons and knobs on it. Now, there are a significant amount of buttons on my stage piano, which I'll talk about here in a minute. As you can see, there's tons of buttons everywhere and a few knobs, but as you can see that these ones are on a whole nother level. You may also notice that there are 2 bendy things, pitch modulators right here on the left here, as opposed to usually just one with a traditional keyboard. And so it just gives you a lot of options on types of things, like types of sounds that you can make, a lot of variety there. But are these good for piano players, people who are looking to advance their piano technique? Well, no, not necessarily, and I'll tell you why. So as you can see here, this is not a full-size 88 key keyboard. I don't know how many it is. I'm guessing less than 61 perhaps. And 99% of the time, unless you want to get a super expensive one, actually they're all pretty expensive to be honest, is they have really flimsy, plasticky keys. Now you can't really feel these keys on my digital piano here, my stage piano they call it, but they are weighted, just meaning that they have weights in them. They're calibrated in such a way with the action, which is just the way the keys feel, in a way that it feels most like a real piano. When I'm playing between this and then going to another piano, it feels pretty similar. I mean, you would even find with acoustic pianos or grand pianos, like say Steinway, you have 2 Steinway grand pianos and you play between them, you're gonna be able to feel a difference because of just the way everything is kind of adjusted on it. But in general, like these are types of keyboards you're gonna wanna get. I'll review these here in a second. So these are not necessarily the types of keys that you want to play with. As you can see, there's tons of different types of synthesizers. There are even synthesizers without keys at all, where you plug in these different little plugs and it has tons of knobs on it. Those are like the real old kind, but they're really cool. As you can see, they're pretty expensive, and you also notice that they have like a styling to them, right? They're not like, if you look at mine, it's just like black. And you do have the red velvet like you would on a traditional piano, but it's not like popping, it's not like red and it doesn't have like all this different stuff. If you take a look at these, even this one over here on the right, that's all like silver, but it has like this clear thing on it. I don't know, it's just very stylized. Same thing with these ones, like on the knobs, they're like red here. And then these ones I'm not even going to talk about because they're not even really keyboards, but they come in all shapes and sizes. I mean, you can even get a USB controller. I mean, now you would need a computer to produce the sound, but these are much cheaper and much smaller. So there are a ton of different types of synthesizers to look at and choose from. And of course, I'm going to include a link for you in the description. I mean, you could choose a synthesizer that you really want. But again, these aren't for traditional piano players that are looking to advance their piano technique. These are for composers and music producers. Okay, the next type of keyboard I'm going to tell you about are just referred to as keyboards. And this is where things can get confusing because keyboard is just a very general term for any kind of board with keys on it, right? So you got this kind of keyboard right here, which is a computer keyboard. But then you have piano keyboards. But the weird thing is where it gets really weird is I find that when you type in keyboard in Amazon or you go to a keyboard store, they're really referring to a specific type of keyboard. Let me show you. Okay, I just typed in piano keyboard and this is what comes up. Now you may be thinking, well, these look pretty similar to the synthesizers we had before. However, as you notice right away, even though they do have some functionality, you know, it's pretty limited. There definitely aren't as many knobs and many buttons on these as, you know, the synthesizers. Again, like the synthesizers, they are smaller and they do not have 88 weighted keys. So this is a no-no for people that are really serious about learning the piano. But so it has limited options in terms of sounds. It has, you know, not as good for piano technique. So what are these good for? Well, all of these, first of all, the good thing about them is they have inbuilt speakers. So they are a lot cheaper. So there is an advantage there if you're on a strict budget. But these are really for people like if you have small kids, or if you're, like I said, you're on a strict budget and you're like, you know, I'm interested in piano, but I don't know if I'm that interested in piano. Like, I want to learn where the notes are. I might want to learn about how to play a couple pop tunes on it or some pieces that you want to play. But I really don't know if I want to take that leap, spend a few $100s. Maybe I just have a couple $100s to spend, or maybe a little bit over $100. And if that's the case, if you said yes to any of those things, then maybe this type of keyboard is what you want. Again, they're just called general keyboards, but they're more like toys compared to something like a stage piano, which again I'll talk more about here in a minute, where this is more of like a professional instrument. Full 88 keys, weighted keys, feels really nice. So these types aren't the ones you want if you're real serious about learning, but these are like if you're not sure, or if you have little kids, right? You're not going to want to buy a kid, at least most people, unless you know you got tons of money. You're not going to want to buy like a 5-year-old. I mean, even if you do have a lot of money, I do not recommend buying a 5-year-old this type of piano at all. Why? Well, obviously drinks can get spilled on it, and all sorts of things can happen. It can get knocked over, or like one student I had, they had a traditional piano, and the 5-year-old one day thought it'd be a good idea to grab a hammer and just smash all the keys, and therefore they were all chipped and broken. Some of them were just like totally wasted, like you just couldn't play that note anymore. I wanted them to fix the piano. Oh, that's what happened is the family went to go fix the piano, and then the tuner, the repair person was like, it's going to cost you like so much money, and they were actually unable to afford it, unfortunately. So the lessons had to end. So anyway, if you have a really little kid and you don't have a piano laying around already, just buy them one of these simple, you know, it's just standard run-of-the-mill keyboards, which, like I said, are more like toys, but they definitely do have a purpose in, you know, the place. One of the cool things about this, now I don't recommend this for learning long-term, but if you have a little kid, they might have fun with this. There are certain types of these keyboards that actually connect to apps, and they actually like light up the keys. And they're a bit more interactive. You're not going to see that on a stage piano because these aren't built for that. These are built for like real musicians who are really serious to learn, like I said. So there are a couple options here. I still recommend checking these out. Just kind of check out all three styles I'm going to tell you about today and see which one's best for you. Again, link for these is in the description. If you decide to buy one from Amazon from the link, obviously I'll get a cut because it is an affiliate link. All right, let me tell you about the last type, which actually I've been kind of talking about all along, and that is the stage piano. Stage piano is what you want if you are serious about developing a real technique on the piano. Why? Well, if you've been paying attention, it's because they have full-size keys, obviously, full keyboard, full 88 keys. They are nicely weighted. They feel as close to a real piano as probably you are going to get. They do have functionality as well. I mean, I can play some different sounds on the piano, but it's very limited in comparison to, the synthesizers that I was telling you about. The downside to these, because believe me, there is a downside, is if you are on a budget, you're probably not going to be able to afford one of these. Why? At minimum, the very basic ones like the Yamahas, I'll show you a couple of models here in a minute that I recommend. The Yamahas, like the very base entry ones, are going to be like $500. So expect to spend at least $500-600. However, the one I have is probably $1,400, and they can go up way past even $2,000. So, and generally with stage pianos, you get what you pay for, but I find even like the $500-600 ones are pretty good if you want to develop hand technique. It's just if you want to spend more money, you just get a few more bells and whistles. It might feel a little bit nicer, might sound just a little bit nicer, but that's what you want to go for with that. Oh, before I show you some different models, one drawback to the stage piano, now this isn't with all of them, but you want to check, depending on which one you want to buy, if it has built-in speakers or not. Because you would assume, right, that if you're spending a ton of money, this is one of the more expensive models, that it's going to have built-in speakers, right? Nope. Actually, these ones are less likely to have built-in speakers than the synthesizers. Oh, synthesizers, yeah. Than the synthesizers or the, like the budget toy pianos. So take a look, make sure that you either have an amplifier to plug it into or that it comes with speakers that you need. Okay, we're just going to kind of take a look through Amazon really quick, just to take a look at what some of the options are for stage pianos. As you can see right off the bat, $1,500 one, Roland Digital Pianos, stage pianos, 88 keys. Now the thing about this is Roland is a really, really good brand. In fact, I have a Roland RD700 SX. I've had it for like 14 years. Thing is built like a tank. No problems with it whatsoever. Still sounds just as good as the day I got it. And even though it's 14 years old, the technology in it might be a little older compared to today. It still sounds really good. So this is also not an instrument, just an instrument you want to get if you're serious about developing your technique, but also if you want this thing to last. These are built to last. So just scrolling here, right away, like if I was looking at this, I would click on it, I would look at the reviews, I would make sure whether it has inbuilt speakers or not. This one looks like it might. Like this one obviously does not. You can tell right away because it's really flat on the surface there. And then this one kind of, and then like I said, I'd have to click on it and do more research. This one looks like it could have a built-in speaker, so they can vary there. You could buy something like a Korg 88 key. That's just $399, so $400. You're gonna get what you pay for, but it does have full-size 88 keys. If I was looking to buy this one, I would click on it and I would just look through. I would make sure to see what type of keys that it has. That's really the most thing you want to look for. And it just says Korg's natural weighted hammer action. That's really just like marketing terms, but you really want weighted natural action, weighted hammer action, and that's as close to a real piano, like I said, as you're gonna get. The weighted, now there is a difference between like pianos that I've played on. So if I play on like a $600 stage piano, the weighted keys aren't going to feel quite as good as the really expensive one, but it's still a good piano actually if you're just starting out, or you're like at the point where it's like, I want to learn piano, I want to have a full-size piano so I can learn any piece I want. I don't know if I want to be a professional piano player, so I might not want to spend the $1,500 or what, really expensive. It's totally up to you and what you are looking for as a piano player. But again, if you're interested in really learning how to play piano, the stage pianos are what you want to get. I can't say that enough. Again, it always helps to look at the reviews. I honestly would look at as many of the reviews as you can, but I would read some of the 5-star reviews, but I always on Amazon recommend you read some of the 1-star reviews. It's weird because it said there were some and now it says there are none, but it doesn't look like there are a lot of 1-star reviews, which is good. The 1-star, the thing you want to get out of the 1-star reviews is see, is there a common pattern of things people are complaining about? Sometimes people just complain about really dumb stuff, and you'll be able to see that in the reviews. And then also, do you see complaints about features that you want? Like, Like, say one of the 1-star reviews is like, oh man, I thought this had inbuilt speakers and it doesn't. Well, then you know probably not to get that one if you want inbuilt speakers. So just some additional tips for you on how to select the right one. A good one that I have played and have heard great things about are these entry-level Yamaha ones. Now there's different models here. This is the P45. I've had students in the live stream tell me many times this is a good one. I've played one of the other P models, which is very similar. I think it might have been a little bit older, but this one is really, really good if you are starting out. I think it comes with inbuilt speakers, but you're going to want to do that research on your own. You know, don't just take my word for it in case I'm wrong, or this is a different model than I'm really thinking about. But in general, these Yamaha P models are very, very good for somebody who is interested in developing piano technique, but isn't like so serious about it that they want to go to music school or spend, you know, thousands of dollars on it. So this one is actually probably the best all-around one I recommend for students. Some other considerations, just looking at it, does it have a music stand? And it does. You can see it's built on right there. Does it come with a bench? Most of them do not. So you're going to think about what maybe you want a piano bench. Does it come with a stand to put the keyboard on? It doesn't look like it does, so you'll have to search a keyboard stand on Amazon that fits that one. There are also budget deals or you know, combo deals on Amazon or anywhere, so take a look at those as well. So again, you're going to want to consider, does it come with, you know, a stand for sheet music? Does it come with a bench? Does it come with a stand for the keyboard itself? And does it come with speakers? So those are definitely like, and does it come with the 88 weighted keys? Those are definitely the biggest considerations you want to think about when selecting the right piano keyboard for you. So I hope you found this guide helpful. If you want to pick up a keyboard on your own, consider using the Amazon affiliate links below. They're not linked to any specific keyboard, but just the different types that we talked about. Synthesizer, you know, like the toy piano keyboards, and then the stage pianos there. So you can select the one that's best for you. But if you do decide to select it from the link, it is an Amazon affiliate link, which does mean it helps me out, helps out the channel as well. You don't have to, just throwing it out there. Also, if you're serious about learning piano for real, I highly recommend you check out the courses over on my website, pianolessonsontheweb.com. Make sure to use code YouTube for 15% off. So thanks everybody for coming by today, and I'll see you, yes you, in the next lesson. Have a great day.